Thank you so much for an amazing turnout for Will. I just want to say we are going to flip this seat. We are going to get homophobic Ken Calvert out of office. And we are going to elect Will Rollins as our next Congress member for the state. I'm supposed to talk about myself, but I just want to say...
State Assembly. I already told you to Senate. You're going to be governor soon, so it's a state assembly. Sorry about that.
And I just want to, no problem. And I want to say I met Will before Palm Springs was in this district. We talked about being openly LGBTQ. I think we were in Lake Elsinore at the time, and how difficult it is in this region, and how Palm Springs is a beacon of hope for civil rights and LGBTQ rights. And I'm so proud recently Will and I were featured, as well as some local businesses, in the New York Times about how LGBTQ voters in Palm Springs and Cathedral City and Desert Hot Springs are going to flip this congressional seat. So just 1 minute about my race, because I'm also going to flip this seat. So this is a state assembly. It's an open seat. Chad Mays is the incumbent. He's not running for re-election. We are up 12 points in the primary. We are the top flip in the entire state. We are the bluest flip because of this district and because of LGBTQ voters. Awesome. So the good news, we're going to win. The bad news is that we're also a GOP target, so $500,000 to my opponent in the last 2 weeks, just attacking me. And I just found out today that their attack ad slowly shows, if you do it slowly, shows a rainbow flag about me when I'm speaking. Using subliminal messaging to show that I'm LGBTQ, I'd be the first openly bisexual woman in the state legislature. So huge representation for our community. So appreciate, Noah, your support, and everyone here. And let's do this together. We're coordinating our campaigns, how we're allowed to. We're gonna knock doors for Will and Christy and all the candidates up and down the ballot. We're going to turn this entire region blue, because I get reached out to by candidates like Denise Davis, first LGBTQ city council member in Redlands. She reached out to me because of the homophobia she was facing running as an openly LGBTQ person. So even though we live in Paradise, we have to share that with our friends and neighbors throughout this region. And I know Will and I are going to fight together in the state assembly and in Congress to support our communities and get real results to everyone, so everyone can feel safe being LGBTQ in this district. So thank you.
If you haven't yet given to Christy, do it, because this is a critical race in California. And then I'm going to introduce Raul, but I want to say just a couple words about Will and Paulo, who's somewhere. There you are, cooling off back there. So just very quick. So we met when I heard he was running. I read his background, just like I did with Raul when I read his background. You know, I said, is a federal prosecutor, anti-terrorism federal prosecutor, who happened to have gone to my high school in Manhattan Beach many years after me, and then he's running in this new district. And look at, I will just say, and many of you know this, because I got too much stuff up from my political life, that I did this for a living. Not only was I U.S. Ambassador to Argentina, before that I did campaigns, politics, and I for 7 years I traveled the country with my boss, Congressman Gephardt, and we recruited people like Will and Raul to run for Congress, and we funded these campaigns. Many of them are unwinnable. This is winnable. This is going to end up, I'm telling you, this is going to end up 51-49 or 50 plus 5, 49 plus 5. No matter what happens, it's going to be one of those two things. If we can raise enough money, which always comes back, number one, you have to have a great candidate. And we funded tons of not so great, and they lose. If you have a great candidate and you fund them well, we can win this district. And there's, I don't know, 8, 9, maybe 10 in the whole country that can flip from red to blue. This is one of them. And having Palm Springs now in this district, which is why I said I wanted to host this, partly because I remember I was campaign manager when Calvert ran against Mark Takano, not on his race, on a different congressional race in Long Beach. But I heard about this, and I heard about this mailer that he sent, which the New York Times talked about, and said, Mark Takano has a secret. That's what Calvert wrote. And he said, it was all in pink, and it said, he has San Francisco values, not Riverside values. And I mean, this is who this guy is. I mean, he's anti-choice, he's anti-gay, he's pro-insurrection, pro-gun, anti-environment. And one of his rights. I mean, so we can do so much good here to help elect Will. So I wanted to say that. And on top of that, you're a great guy. So Raul, who's a great personal friend, was standing right here 10 years ago. Was it 10? 10. And so I had done all these campaigns and fundraising in huge houses all around the country. And I told Alexa this story many times, but I never had a house big enough to host people. I didn't know it was going to be this many people. But when I did, and I read your story, that you were someone who grew up poor here, but you wanted to go to, make something of yourself, go be a doctor. And when I believe you read that, and I think you saw where you were growing up, that people had a briefcase that were successful. And you bought a used briefcase, and you would go to people, and you would say, if you invest in me, I'll write a contract, and I'll come back here. I'll pay you back, I'll come back here. And he went to my alma mater, UCLA, and he came back here as a doctor after UCLA and Harvard Medical, and 2 more degrees. So he's got, and he came back here, and I said, but before, I did anything, we met, I talked to him, I said, this is the person we need to help. And so I believe this is like a wonderful transition from a guy who used to represent Palm Springs to you who will. And he and Monica's wife have become great personal friends of Alexa and me. And thank you so much for everything. You're doing an amazing job. And one of Biden's signature achievements was his bill from last month, the burn pit bill for veterans. So with that, I want to just say, Raul is a great friend. He and Monica is doing an incredible job in Congress. So thank you.
Thank you, Noah. So let's start calling Noah the link, because he's the link from me to Will, and this house is a good omen. It's good. It's got good mojo here. It really helped in my race, and all of you helped in my race tremendously. Look, I want to thank Noah and Alexa for opening their home, and all the co-hosts, man, who believe in you, who are working tirelessly for you. I know how it is when you're just like calling and just trying to figure out how can you raise that money, because you have a message and you're a great messenger, and you need to get it out there, targeted to the people that are going to vote for you. And so when you see individuals here, and I'm telling you from personal experience, when you see friends gather together like all of you who believe in the cause, who believe in that message, who's willing to invest in doing what's right for the community, it means the world. And I know it means the world to you, and it means the world to me, because he is a good guy. He's a good guy. I want to serve alongside.
Oh, that was a close-up.
I'll be the senior representative. Together, and definitely we'll get a lot of things done. And I'm so looking forward for Christy winning as well. I've endorsed Christy, helping Christy and her causes as well. We are a great partnership. We have a great partnership in developing the bench and all the different other individuals that we support in the area. So I want you to know that you have 2 very good, solid people that are here today. Grace Gardner also sits in the city council. She's in the back there, and I think those are all the elected individuals. Look, I'm here to talk about Will, but let me tell you where we're at in Congress. We are in a crossroads in our nation, and being one of the last who stayed in the gallery when the insurrectionists attacked and threatened our lives, I can tell you that it is real, the movement that is happening, the election deniers, those that believe in the big lie, those that want to force their their ideology and their way through violence and intimidation and threats. And we need people who are going to be able to stand up to that. We need people who are going to have a voice and stand up to the bullies and defend our democracy and do the right thing. Now, working in a bipartisan way to get solutions done for the American people, focusing on what really matters here, the cost of living, protecting a woman's right to make decisions about her own body, making sure that we reduce the amount of gun violence deaths in our country, to ensure that we reduce the cost of health care, increase education opportunities for everybody in our country with the equity focus and social justice focus. And that is why I'm so excited about Will. Because if you hear his story, which I know you will, and you understand that it was 9/11 that spurred him to move forward. Despite the injustices against gay men, he persisted, persevered, and did what he could to make sure that he followed his dream to protect our democracy. And now he's running for Congress to do it on the House floor. Is very inspiring. Somebody who's bold, somebody who's not backing down from a fight, somebody who's going to stand up to bullies like a federal prosecutor will. And that's why I support this guy. Also because he's just a good I like him. Like there's a lot of people who are arrogant, who want to just bully their way into politics and think they're Machiavellians and try to backstab anybody that had called them a friend to get their way up. But this guy's like the good all-American, neighbor that you want to support and get in there, who's not afraid of standing up against bullies. And so, we passed the American Rescue Plan that has really prevented us from going to catastrophe. Democrats responsibly put children back to school. We help save small businesses throughout our entire country. We help put people back to work. There's more jobs than people are seeking jobs right now in our nation. We're going after big oil, who have been price gouging in the market and making record profits while the rest of us suffer at the gas. We've been supporting Ukraine to ensure that we can have an end to that war that has been devastating, not only for democracies, a threat to democracies everywhere, but also to the global economy. So we are making progress in what we're doing, and all we're seeing is people on the other side voting no, 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 for political reasons, because they want to make political theater of our most vulnerable, of our immigrants, asylum seekers who have the legal right to come to our country based on American law. They're not breaking any law to seek asylum, fleeing dictatorships and authoritarian individuals, fleeing for their lives. And mind you, many of them are LGBTQ who have been beaten and threatened in their countries, and they come here to seek, just to have freedom and peace of mind and safety. I know because I visited them in the shelters, LGBTQ shelters in Tijuana, when I visited the borders and other locations. So this is a serious time, and we need a serious person in Congress, and he can win. I know you'll get into the numbers, but let me divulge some of the public polls that have them at a dead heat. This district has more Democratic registered voters, and he's raising money. Ken Calvert's raising money. He's the ranking member of the Powerful Appropriations Committee, so he's got a lot of friends out in Washington, D.C., who's raising a lot of money. But I know people who are more powerful than those lobbyists, and that's the people standing in this room.
Amen.
Because it's the individuals who's able to contribute the small dollars, the big dollars, and by the way, in this room, we're talking big dollars. $2,900 is what, if all of us donated the maximum to Will Rollins, $2,900. How much you all can raise here. Count how many mailers he can send to the western part of Riverside County. Count the population of voters that can hear his message. And so that is the pragmatic aspect of this. Now, many of you might have come to show support and pat him on the back. That is good solidarity. That is wonderful. And the emotional aspect, it means something. What we're seeking, and I'm seeking for Will, is pragmatic solidarity. It's the money that's going to put him on TV, and he's got some great commercials. It's the mailers that we need to pound in the independents and the Democrats to let them know they